Kumar, namaste.
Namaste, namaste.
Namaste, Chittappa.
Namaste, Chandra. Namaste. Namaste, everyone. Share the screen. Let's begin with 3 ohms. Please take a deep breath. Namaste, Suprapatam, Namo Namaha. Can you hear me well?
Good morning, Kumarji.
Yes.
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 Good morning, Kumarji. Yes.
Namaste. Okay. So, we started Sadhana Pada with the definition of Kriya Yoga. And we said the tapaha, which is the dhyana or meditation, whatever you want to call it. Swadhyaya, that is one's self-study. And Ishvara Pranidhana, and surrender to the divine, comprises of that Kriya Yoga. And Kriya Yoga is a yoga of action. So why do we do that? We do that to get into a state of samadhi. And then we moved on to see what prevents us from being in that state, from being able to control the chitta vrittis. So we saw that the 5 impurities, avidya, asmita, raga, dvesha, abnivesha. And we saw the definitions for all the 5. And then, and out of which we said, avidya is at the top of the pile. Uttaresham. That's what one of the sutras is saying there. Avidya kshetram uttaresham 2.4, which means it is at the top. And when avidya is gone, then the other 4 have no legs to stand on. They are gone too. So that is why the focus is so much on avidya, to get rid of avidya. And then we saw what is asmita. Asmita is just being a pure observer and an experiencer. That is what we saw as asmita. Then we saw that raga is the flow of the sukha. All pleasurable things become raga, and all things that you don't want is dvesha, which brings you dukkha, is dvesha. So we saw that, and then we also found out that abnivesha is the state of being a doer. Even Vidusha, Vidushaha, Vidushaha and Vidushi. Yeah, that is people with, that is wise people. Even they struggle with this and they ride on that too. That's what the Sutra 2.9 tells us. And then we moved on to see what we can do to prevent these impurities from bothering us. So that's where he says, Pratiprasava heyaha sukshamaha. So Pratiprasava, that is going backward, Pratiprasava means going backward, that is not letting the activations go forward, not letting it be born. Prasava, Pratiprasava. So that is the sukshama here, that is the subtle way in which it can be blocked. Dhyana heyaha tadvrattaya, vrattayaha. So by dhyana, you can stop the flow of all the vrittis, of the chitta vrittis can be stopped. So we saw all that, and then we saw that because of the klesha, all these janma vedaniya, the kleshas, the mula klesha is this avidya is what is causing all this from what you are seeing now and what you have not seen yet. All these are being the janma, the pain of the janma is being caused by all this, all the kleshas. All the kleshas are the root cause for all that. And satimule, that we saw that sati, we said, is the end of life. So by end of life, what happens? Because we are constantly reacting to situations, we are gathering more karma, and that comes back to us as far as things that we don't like or things that give us pain. So that's all we saw, and then we moved on to 215, Sutra 215. So where we saw dukkam eva sarvam vivekina, the wise people understand that everything is causing pain. That is, everything meaning all the reactions. The reactions are coming from the chitta vrittis, and the chitta vrittis are being activated by the kleshas. So they understand that it will cause you problem now, or it will cause you problem later. So why even react? So if you want to prevent pain and suffering, don't stop reacting. That is what they are saying in Heyam Dukkham Anagatam. So to prevent all kinds of pain and future births, the best is to be in a state of detachment, not being reactive to situations. That's what we saw. So we stopped there, I think. Right? I think we stopped there. And then, I think we covered Sutra 217. Drashtra drashyayoho sangyo heya hetuhu. So here Patanjali Muni is saying that what is there that is to be opposed? What is that we are trying to oppose? All that we are seeing is causing us these activations to come in, right? So whatever you see or observe and the association with that, drashyoho, that is the association with it. If you don't react to it, that is because that is the cause of later births. So stop reacting to it. Whatever you see, you're reacting it. You're reacting. So once you stop reacting to those kinds of, once you stop reacting, you can avoid the future births, which means you can avoid accumulating karmas. Heya means to oppose. We saw that earlier to oppose. Hetuhu means to, that is a cause. So we covered up to 217. 218.
No, Kumarji, you just finished till 216 last.
Oh, we finished with 216. Okay. Drashtra drashyoho sanyogo heya hetuhu. Heya means to oppose. To oppose is heya. We saw this in Sutra 16. Heyam dukkam anagatam. Heyam. Again, to oppose. Dukkam is misery. Similarly here, heya hetuhu. Oppose, and the cause of that opposition. What is the why do we have to oppose? Because drashta drashyoho sanyogo. Sanyogo is we are associating everything with what we are seeing and we are reacting. So that is a cause for all difficulties. So we have to oppose it. So that's what the sutra is saying. So if you look at the notes at the bottom, you can see the cause to be opposed is the association between the seer, we are the seer, with what one sees or experiences. Okay. That's where we are not being a true observer. If you are a true observer, these things won't bother us. So 218, prakasha kriya sthiti bhuta indriya atmakam bhoga apavargartam drishyam. Drishyam means, again, drishtra, drishyam, all this means to see or sight. Drishyam means sight. So everything is related to seeing. Bhoga means we saw this also earlier, this word bhoga. Bhoga means what you're experiencing. Good, bad, pleasurable, not pleasurable, etc. Whatever you're feeling at that point of time, whatever you're experiencing at that point of time. Apavargartham. Varga, if you take the word, if you take the middle part, varga. Varga means class. Class. Vargartha means classification. So we can say this is a Patanjali Yoga Sutra Vargaha. Means this is the class, Patanjali Yoga Sutra class. So Varga means class. Apavargartha means making all those classification irrelevant. What is the classification that we want to make irrelevant? Bhoga. We are experiencing something. In that, while experiencing something, we are classifying it as good, bad, ugly, beautiful, evil, virtuous, right? So making that experience irrelevant, classifying, stop classifying. Apavargartha means stop classifying all that into all this. Okay. Prakasha. Prakasha means enlightened or smooth. Kriya means hyperactive. Sthiti means stable, sluggish, static. So this is referring to the three states that we normally associate with sattva, rajas, and tamoguna, right? So the sattva guna, sattva is the prakasha, enlightened, stable state. Kriya is the rajas, agitated state, going up and down, excited, all that. Sthiti is normally in yoga, even while doing asanas, we'll say sthiti, that is, come back to sthiti from where we started, where there is no change, that is static. Sheelam means nature or energy flow. So he is saying the energy flows in us in these three different ways. It could be prakasha, it could be enlightened kind of energy, enlightened or smooth kind of energy. It could be an hyperactive rajas energy, sluggish or static energy. That is how the energy flows. Sheelam is, that is how the energy flows. Bhuta indriya, anything of the created matter, and that is how indriya means with the senses. So anything that we are sensing with the created matter happens because of these three kinds of energies, and because of these kinds of energies we are classifying things as good, bad, ugly, etc. So that is the later part of the sentence. Bhoga apavargartam drishyam. Any questions on this?
Is Bhuta Indriya Atmakam means?
Atmakam means that which is in the core of things. In the core of in the created being, the sensory organs, etc. In the core of that, what is there in the core of that? These energy flows are in that, and the energy flows are causing us to classify things into various categories. With me?
Yeah.
Any questions? You can also read the notes at the bottom. The natures of luminous is prakasha is luminous or enlightened, energetic, and inert. Sthiti is inert or static or immobile, whatever you want to call it. Within the innermost of matter, that is Bhuta Indriya. Bhuta Indriya is innermost. Actually, it is Atmakam Bhuta Indriya. That is how it is. Atmakam is innermost, in the core. Within the innermost of matter and sense faculties. Sense faculties is that Indriya is for the purpose of complete experience of what is seen until the final end. But because of this classification, we get into difficulties. So the best thing is to not to have to stop all these classifications. So when we don't classify these things into good, bad, ugly, etc., when we are truly in that apavargartam, then we become a true seer, true experiencer. Okay. With me, everyone? See, again and again, Patanjali Muni is only stressing. If you see this, he is stressing how not to be reactive. All the programs inside are making you to react. How not to be reactive, how to oppose it. That is what he is describing in various ways to prevent karma from accumulating and rebirth from happening. So moving on to Sutra 219. Vishesha Avishesha Linga Matra Alingani Guna Parvani So, let's see, Guna Parvani. Let's go to the last word. Last two words, Guna Parvani. It is actually the spectrum of gunas. The spectrum of gunas. The gunas can also be called as vibrations. Okay. The gunas can also be called as, they are same as vibrations. The spectrum of gunas are energy flow and their nature. That is what is Guna Parvani means. So he is describing the characteristics of the gunas. So he's saying, what could it be? He says the gunas can be Visesha or Avisesha. It can be special or it need not be special. I mean, specific or non-specific. Or Linga Matra. It can be indicative. It can be indicative or non-indicative. That is, it can be well-defined or it need not be well-defined. So this is how the gunas are. That is what he is stating in that sutra. The spectrum, the big spectrum of gunas. So tad artha sorry, drashta drishi matraha shuddha api pratyaya anupashyah. Anupashyah means pashya. Pashya means pashyati, means to see. Anupashyah. Anupashyah means what you are watching. Okay. Let me hold on 1 second. So whatever you are watching is Anupashyahi. Pratyaya. Pratyaya is that reactivity. Drashta drishi matraha shuddha api pratyaya anupashyaya. So, in other words, anu means what leads to, pashya is to be a seer. What leads you to be a pure seer is, that's what he's saying here. What leads you to be a pure seer is drashta. Drashta drishi. Whatever you are seeing is sight alone. Pratyaya. Pratyaya is what reflects back into you. What is reflecting back into you is the reactivity. Correct? You're reacting. That is what is reflecting back into you. Pratyaya is what is reflecting back into you. Reactivity or thoughts or actions. Shuddha api. Shuddha api, when it is, api is also, when it is completely cleansed. Shuddha is cleansed. When it is completely cleansed, then you are a seer. Then you are a experiencer. That's what the sutra is saying. I mean, he again and again coming back and reinforcing this. What you see, what leads you to become a pure seer is just seeing. What is that seeing? By blocking out this reactivity, that pratyaya, by cleansing out that shuddha api pratyaya, cleansing this reactivity. stopping that creativity. And then you become a pure seer. Any questions? Okay. Tad artha eva drishya atma. So he's saying that the meaning of that alone, tad artha eva means the meaning of that alone, that only is the core of what you see. Atma is core of drishya, drishyasya atma, drishyasya atma means is at the core of what you see. So the meaning of that only is the core of what you see. Core of what you see is how you, when you stop the reactivities, you will see what you really have to see. Instead of the mind clouding it, instead of mind putting filters, you will see the real object. With me, people?
Yes, we keeping
Yes, yes,
ourselves
yes.
on mute. So
Any questions?
far so good.
Okay. So we'll move on to Sutra 22. Actually, we can read the notes also on the top. For 21, 19, 20, and 21. It says 19. The spread division of understanding of the gunas are specific, non-specific, nominal, defined or undefined. The person who sees, the next sutra, sees indeed with pure conviction is only an instrument of seeing. That alone is the inner meaning of sight. When you say sight, you are truly seeing without any of the filters, without any of the vrittis affecting you. You have blocked out all the vrittis. That is true seeing. Only then true seeing really happens. Until then, you're not having true seeing at all. Until then, it is a very subjective seeing that you're doing it. I may see it as, that's why we have all these issues, right? I am seeing something as good, you see something as bad. I'm going to ask my sister. So fried fish, the smell of fried fish, is it very appetizing? Tell me, Akka.
Looks like, sounds like she hates that.
I want her to answer.
She already gave the answer.
Let's see what I want her to answer. Is it appetizing to you, Akka? Fried
No.
fish smell? No, it is not.
No.
It is terrible.
Yeah,
But the same thing is very appetizing to a Bengali.
correct.
So where is the good and where is the bad? Where is the bad smell? Where is the good smell? It is all in the perception. It is all in the perception, right?
Does that mean I have to enjoy the smell?
Huh?
No.
No, I'm saying where is the perception? It is based on perception, right?
They are used to it. They are,
Whether they are used to it or not, that's not the question. Is
that is the perception.
that there is a smell of fried fish and you are there and a Bengali is there. You are not enjoying it. The Bengali is enjoying it. Correct?
Correct.
That is all I'm saying. So for you it is bad, for the Bengali it is good.
Correct.
Where it is coming from? It is coming from that filter. That's all I'm saying. If only you can say, yes, there is a smell. That's all. I'm not asking you to classify it as good or bad. The classification of it as good or bad comes from the activations.
The filters, the filter we put it.
Filters.
If we don't have a filter, we can say that it is a smell. But
Yes.
we don't, because we already predefine it as a bad smell for us. And we are going to stick with it. At
Yes.
one point, if we are able to take that take the filter out from our head, then there is a possibility of change in our overall holisticness. That's what I can think. That's what I think Kumarji is trying to explain.
Yeah.
What is the difference, or like say, why it is good for somebody, why it is bad for somebody. The reason is they're having that filter of perception in their head. If you take out, it is just a smell. If you watch it as a third person, you see it as just a smell, like any other smell. Because you are perceiving it either as a good or bad, you are giving a label of adjective label.
More than that, good, okay, we say this is not a smell that I want to be present in, okay, but what is working inside, it says, how can this person stand this smell? How can this person who is standing next to me can stand this smell? How can this person enjoy this smell? How can this person eat this food? It goes deeper and deeper and deeper to an extent where you develop a dvesha with that person. With me?
Yes,
Yes.
very much.
That is how the activations work. So this is not only in food. I gave you a basic example with food. So this is there in every aspect of life. It comes to religion, it comes to our sampradaya. Even within Brahmins, we have this classification. The different classes of Brahmins are there. We cannot stand what other class of Brahmins are doing. A South Indian Brahmin cannot stand, a Tamil Brahmin cannot stand a Telugu Brahmin. And the South Indian Brahmins cannot stand North Indian Brahmins because they chant all the mantras in a different pitch, in a different tone.
Different dialect.
So all these are because of activations.
Predefined settings that we have.
Yes. So these are all the things that you must closely watch in yourself. When I say you, that includes me too.
I mean, the moment we
in all of
start,
us.
I think the moment we start watching them, we are going to start realizing what
Who
good
we
or
really
bad.
are. Only then you
Yeah.
will see who you really are.
Until that time, there won't be any change, I think, in us. But again, it's not good or bad. That's something, if you are able to observe that, if you are getting that maturity or capacity to observe is the key.
So with that background, let us move on. So what is really the issue here, which is causing all this reactivity, etc. Blah blah blah. Kritartham prati nashtam api anashtam tad anya sadharanatvat. This is a beautiful sutra. Kritartham. I have mentioned this sutra many times, but not the full sutra. I have always said labha nashta calculation. So kritartham, in whatever you do, krita, kriya, it comes from there. kritartham, in whatever you do, in whatever actions you are performing. Prati is towards that. Towards that, what we do? Nashtam api anashtam. Nashtam and anashtam. What is the gain? Nashtam is loss. Anashtam is gain. Tad anya. This is the sadharanatva. Sadharanatva means normal people. Normal people like us, common people. So what do common people see? They have a different view of life. That is what it is saying, anya. They have a different view of life. What is the different view of life? The different view of life is, in whatever they do, they apply this nashtam, anashtam calculation. What will I get if I do this? What will I get by being friends with Prabhakar? If I think there is some labam, if there is anashtam in being friends with Prabhakar, then I will continue that relationship. The moment I know there is going to be an ashtam, I'll sever that relationship. It is not just with friends, and it is not just with your neighbors. It is in the closest of the relationships, even with the most loved ones. That is where it is very difficult to see. There is this calculation of nashtam, anashtam. In the Indian context, it is always said, although it is the duty of the children to take care of their parents, for some reason, the children don't care for their parents. Then the parents would come back and say, how well I took care of you when you were young. I spent all my money on your education and on your welfare. Why did I do that? Because I thought in my old age you will take care of me. See the calculation?
That's ajnana.
Akka, are you able to see the calculation?
Yes.
It may not be a calculation, and the parent won't be doing with the calculation. Parent would be doing 100%, 200% love. But when they are in a crisis situation, the filter makes it think like that, saying that, thinking about, oh, I did all this. And until that time, the parent would ever even imagine or think about, oh, I'm spending this so that my kid will take care tomorrow. No, I don't think any parent would think that way while they are investing effort, time, or anything. But when the crisis hits, then this bad filter or perception comes into head, thinking, oh no, I spend a lot of money and all. That is what my perception is. It could be wrong.
See,
My gurus or
Prabhakar,
anyone could say.
all these filters, all this avidya, they get activated only when necessary. Right? They are all there. They are sitting there. They will get activated only when necessary.
So it is our duty to say that filter is, hey, this filter is popping up, bang it, or just stay away or don't get reacted. That is what from this class or from this exercise.
So no parent,
Hmm.
no parent is exempted from this. No parent is exempted from this. Obviously, they when they are young, this is not activating, and they are unaware of that something dormant is still there. They are unaware of that. So when they are hit with that situation, then everything becomes active, and then they say all this thing. Oh, I did all this, and now see, I am in the street. I'm on the streets. This is what my children have done to me. This is what my siblings have done to me. They have cheated
didn't
me
do-
of my property and wealth,
they
and
didn't
I am
do
on the
anything.
street.
I did all by myself. Nobody
In-
did
in-
anything bad to me.
In any
I'm just saying
situation,
it to myself.
Hmm?
sorry.
I'm saying it to myself, saying
Yes.
that nobody did it to me, neither my sibling, nor my children, nor my any other. It's all myself. I did it, but now the filter says that they did it. My filter.
Yeah, because the nature of the world is, the right nature of the world is karma sannyasa yoga. Everything is a yoga. So I beget children, I bring up children, and I do everything for my children with a sense of detachment, with an attitude of detachment, vairagabhyam, without any kind of expectation from. I just do it because that is what is in the cosmic flow of things. Whether at the end of my life, I am given all comforts. For example, Prabhakar knows her. You know Deepthi, right? Deepthi Patel, who lives in my neighborhood.
I might have seen, but I don't remember the name.
Okay, that's all right. My sister.
Oh, no,
knows.
no. I know. I remember now that, yes, your closest neighbor. Yes.
Yes. So, a couple of years back, her children, they bought her a Lexus,
Mm,
Lexus 350 or 450, whatever it was.
mm.
They bought the car for her and brought it home, and she was shocked. And she said, I have a 15-year-old Honda, which is fine for me. They said, no, you're not going to be driving that. You are junking that car. You are going to be driving this. So for her, it came as anashtam, as labham from her children. Right? It need not be the same for everyone. So everything you take as in the cosmic flow of things, this was supposed to happen. The cosmic energy has given me this, I will take this. Because my children are asking me, as have given me this, I will take this. That's all. If it doesn't happen also, you will have the same attitude. I think Priya wanted to ask something in between. I heard her voice.
Somebody was saying something. Sorry, I interrupted.
No, that's fine. What is that? Something, yeah, I wanted to ask, but forgot now. Any crisis, irrespective of this parent, kid, or the friends, unknown person, any crisis comes, the activation definitely comes. So in that case, not to react, okay, watch the activation or to let it go, and we should not get angry or upset, right?
Yeah. See, it is not the question of not getting angry or upset. It is the question of understanding.
I think one thing to add is that not to react is something to study and then execute. It's not like always we cannot be reactive, right? For certain situations, there has to be a response. But the study of like how it flows through has to happen, right? With the unconsciously certain reaction happens today, probably that has to be overcome by studying what is happening, like why am I thinking like this, and not necessarily everything will fade away by not doing anything. Kumarji, correct me if I'm wrong.
On the same note, yeah, no,
See,
actually, absolutely.
Reactivity, see, reactivity is unaware. That is what we call as reactivity. Acting with no awareness. It is something like this. There is a nice, pleasant smell coming, like the smell of bhaji, let us say. Evening, around 5 o'clock in the evening, the smell of bhaji is coming. Immediately, what happens? We are going east, and the smell is coming from the west. Immediately, we turn around and go towards bhaji, eat 5 bhajis, and then we go towards east. Correct?
Yeah.
After eating, then we say, "Oh, I did not want to eat fried stuff." The reaction is unaware. That is what we are talking about, the unaware reactivity. This does not mean that you become aware that I'm getting angry and yes, I'm justified in getting angry and shouting at people all the time. No, we are not talking that also.
Kumarji, it is happening with me. Just this budgie case. I need, I need, I need something right away, please. Otherwise, I don't consider as I'm graduating.
And then there is a different kind of activation also. The bhaji smell comes and then you say, no, I don't want to eat this now. Then the mind will say, no, it's okay for today.
It's okay.
We can waive
today.
this for today.
Yeah.
No, that is also an activation.
Oh.
So end of the thing, okay, eating bhaji is okay or not eating bhaji is okay?
No. Actually, there is
that's
no
what
set
I'm
of
saying.
rules.
There is nothing like good or bad, okay or not okay. You have to come to that state where
basically?
maybe bhaji was not a great example.
No. Actually, it is. In the sense,
No.
everything is an example. But what I'm
Yes.
trying to say is, so you're saying activation, all those are coming up in my head also. Like say, yes, first of all, my first reaction is just finish eating. Later, you said, oh, I'm not supposed to eat. So both are reactions, both are activations. Now, if I'm able to, how I'm able to practice the more and more, so to observe that, oh, there is a reaction coming to eat, and how I can able to, the more and more I observer, I may be able to take a reaction based on whether I'm supposed to eat, whether I'm not supposed to eat, if supposed to, how much I'm supposed to eat, all those things. So more sadhana.
See, Priya, the thing is, I'll give you this example. We all went to a retreat in the month of March. I even probably mentioned to some of you. We had a retreat here conducted by Life in Yoga. I went away for 10 days. So every meal, lunch and dinner, there would be sweets. 1 or 2 different types of sweets might be there. Sometimes 1, sometimes 2. So Dr. Rajan, who is the main teacher, he would happily come, eat his food, and then eat 2 sweets. He will always take 1 or 2 sweets in his plate, and he'll eat. And then he'll say, oh, this sweet is very good, and he'll go back and get 1 more and eat. So one day while discussing, he said, yeah, I don't know how many of you observed this. I love sweets. And it is actually good for me. So I eat sweets. So what is good for you, you eat. What is bad for you, you don't eat. But what does the sadharana, what do common people do? They eat the bad things. They eat things that are not good for them. And they also don't eat things that are good for them. That is where the problem lies. With me, Priya?
Okay. Yeah.
No harm in eating 2 bhajis or 3 bhajis. If you eat a bucket of bhajis, it's a problem.
Okay. Yeah.
And he also gave one indicator. He said, if your morning poop, whatever, if your poop does not smell, your poop should not smell, he said. If your poop is smelling, then you are eating things that are not suitable to you. So now you all can go back home and do that research. So this Nashtam Anashtam calculation, Anashtam, please understand this very well. It is there in the closest of relationships. And closer the relationship, more subtle it is. So please understand that. We'll finish with this, the last one, 23, and then we can move on to the rest of the things. Was Kranti here today? I didn't even ask. I didn't see her in the morning. So
Yes, I think she joined later. I saw her
Yeah.
later, but probably she.
I'm there.
Oh, I'm
Good
sorry, Kranti. I completely, when I saw for the first time your name was not there, I assumed that you were not there. Sorry.
No, no problem. It happens with the Zoom.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Swaswami Shaktyoho Swarupa Upalabdhi Hetuhu Sanyogah. So, Swaswami means whatever effort is, whatever effort. Swa means self putting effort. And Hetuhu, we have already seen cause, right? Heya Hetuhu, we kept on saying. Heya means oppose. Hetuhu means cause. We kept on saying this. Remember this, these two words will come again and again. Heya Hetuhu, to oppose, and Hetuhu is a cause. Sanyoga means association. Upalabdhi means to attain what one gets. Swarupa is thinking as the doer. Upalabdhi is to attain. So thinking I am the doer of everything and attaining things. So this is what normal people do. What do they do? Whatever effort is put in will result in profit or loss. So the assumption is I control what I reap as benefit. That kind of thinking is there in that sanyoga. Sanyoga is that in that association of things. Is that sanyoga is giving rise to profit and loss accounting. And this swaswami, that the effort that I am putting in is the cause for profit or loss. That is what we normally think. Without understanding, we have to put the effort. We are driven by the divine to put in the effort. But the result is not ours. That understanding is not there. Right? So why is that understanding not there? Is what the next sutra is saying. It is because tasya hetuhu avidya. The cause of that. Hetuhu means cause, right? Hetuhu means cause. Heya means to oppose.
What is Shaktyoho?
Huh?
What is Shaktyoho?
Saktyoho is the loss.
Loss?
All, no, not loss. All the energies that one uses. Shakti, it comes from Shakti.
Okay.
Swaswami, Swaswami Shaktyoho means I myself putting in all the energies and doing things as a doer. whatever effort I am putting in. That's what it means. Shakti Yoga is that energy that you are putting in. So whatever energies I'm putting in, I think of it as upalabdhi, what I get, the profit or loss that I'm getting. Not understanding that there is a divine hand behind it. So why is it happening? In 224 he is saying tasya hetuhu, tasya, that for that it is happening because of avidya. Avidya is the cause for this kind of calculation, thinking that this is for many people who are in working, saying, oh, I must get this increment, I must get this promotion. That is fine to have that thing, but when you don't get it, it is very difficult to accept it. X got it, I didn't get it. Y got it, I didn't get it. So this is where it comes from. That is that sutra for that. It comes from that avidya. And hence it is giving all kinds of activations. So we'll stop here at 224. So we'll start with 225 next week. Any questions? Quick questions I can answer.
Shall we close with the prayer, please? Quick,
We have a class right after this. That's why.
probably next week.
Any questions? Quick questions. 1 minute. There are no questions. We can move. We start with 225 next week. We covered quite a few sutras today because they were simple. I covered a lot of sutras. Please review all the sutras, understand them. Again and again, it is based on the activations. So please pay attention to this. And we also saw an important sutra, Labha Nashtam. See in your closest relationship with the husband and wife, with your children, how it is there. Very subtly it is there. Please see that. Uma, please see that. Priya, please see that. Akka, please see that. Prabhakar, please see it. Vishwa, you have 2 small children.
Yes, sir.
Yes, please see that.
They're growing up.
Yes.
I had a still same image. Vishwa has small babies, but I think they're growing up. Is that right, Vishwa?
Yeah.
Okay. Namaste.
Namaste, Kumar.
Namaste,
Thank you.
Kumar. Thank you.
Thank you.
Namaste.
Namaste, Kumar. Thank you.
Thank you.